You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast.
This is Jerry.
This is Enrique.
And this is Gabi.
That was a long stall.
Yes, it was.
He was busy stretching.
I was stretching.
There was a
My
stretch.
pits.
He was stretching in between intros as he was stretching his physical form.
I stretch because I have rolled shoulders, which I have been trying to correct. My posture.
You like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm very tense all the time. So I actually bought a posture corrector.
Is it strap around your back and arms or something?
Yes. And
Yeah.
it pulls that back.
I've seen those.
And it's trying to, and I've been doing various exercises to try to get my posture back because I'm getting to the point to where, yeah, it's causing my back to spasm.
Does it work for you?
I think so, yes.
There's also like that hump you kind of get in your right here if you're like,
It is not a lovely lady hump.
Yeah.
And you get that from looking down on your phone, not having things eye level. It's why it's important to stretch. There is also very fascinating that I learned about calisthenics and stretching and things of that nature is that when you work out, you're basically tearing your muscles and layering, more proteins and things onto them, making them bigger. But when you're stretching, you're doing something very similar, except you're having longer muscles. So somebody can look very skinny and still be incredibly strong simply from stretching.
No.
I didn't realize that was a thing, like the calisthenics and all that. And some of these stretches are incredibly painful.
Oh, yes.
So that's why we encourage all of our listeners to please stretch your calves
And exercise.
and your psoas.
Is that what
So
calisthenics
what is
is?
I don't-
Calisthenics?
Yes, it's the hair.
I know what you're talking
Stretching your
about.
hair into an upright position. Calisthenics is that
That's like
Is that-
exercise. of
No,
some
no, no.
sort.
It's more like a...
like I always think of jumping jacks.
I do too.
No.
Why is it calisthenics? Why do you say exercise, but then you specify calisthenics?
Because there's like cardio, which is walking, jogging.
Then what's
running.
Yeah,
calisthenics?
I don't know.
It's
Then-
more of a strength.
Then why isn't
Maybe you're using your own body against
it
itself.
would be
Yeah,
really...
it's a strength and balance.
You've got one job, Enrique, is look this stuff up, and you're not doing it.
No,
but
he's
I'll
just
do
sitting
it.
here guessing.
Calisthenics or calisthenics is a form of strength training that utilizes an individual's body weight as resistance to perform multiple joint compound movements with little or no equipment.
Yeah.
So you're
it's a
using
strength.
your own body. So it's like push-ups.
Push-ups.
Yeah, push-ups.
Oh, no, look at. Oh yeah, like push-ups. Now he's chiming in as
No,
if he
I
knew the
told
whole
you it
time.
was a strength.
Listen.
I don't think you did.
I did.
The key was
I did.
you're using your own body's weight against itself.
I believe you, Enrique. I believe in you. And I think you knew this. I just
I
don't think
believe
you,
in
I just
love.
don't think you knew how to express it.
Yeah, I didn't know how to explain.
But I'm there for you. I hear you. I feel you. And I believe in you.
All right, if we're doing this, I guess I did too. I knew the whole time, Enrique.
Don't lie to me.
No, you know-
Never did I doubt you once. I've
No,
always had faith in you.
You were aggressive towards him.
I was never aggressive.
There
You
you
were
go.
incredibly aggressive.
I've never been aggressive.
Believed in me.
Not once in my life
You
have I been
did-
aggressive.
yeah. What?
Not once in my life. Okay, we need to get to this because we got a lot to cover.
Oh, the Facebook.
No time for bants
What?
because this whole thing is bants, basically.
No, it's not.
We love bands.
So, one of our dear loyal listeners, David Allen, posted in Discord originally, and then it must be said. He said, 3 board games you think every gamer should try, and 3 board games or foods you wish you'd never tried. Post your thoughts to be discussed on this. Oh, well, I put that part. Post your thoughts to be discussed on this week's recording. So David had posted that in our Discord, got several people commenting on it. And then I said, we need some, not need some, but, interaction with the listeners. And that was a good question. But now, originally, for Michael Vinoy, I had just posted, hey, ask us anything, basically. Another AMA. So Michael said, season's greetings. Would you rather be the hero or villain in a movie/TV show?
I would rather be the villain that turns into the hero.
Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader.
Ish.
Okay. Who's your favorite of that ilk?
Well, there's tons of them that have that arc where they are
Of the Covenant.
Of their people who are, they're semi. Well, I'll use an example. I don't know the answer to this because it may or may not be, but the first season of Star Wars Andor, which I was incredibly excited for, the several Imperial officers that I get the vibe that are like, they're on the wrong side, but they themselves are not.
They're questioning things.
Yes.
They're questioning the moves of the Emperor.
Exactly.
The titular one I think most people think of is Darth Vader. Everyone from the Fast and Furious franchise that was once bad is now on the family's team. I'm trying to think of somebody. Oh, but his question was, would you rather be the hero or a villain in a movie, TV show?
I said villain.
The villain is always more fun. Heroes can be extremely boring unless you're the anti-hero. AKA Riddick. So they're like a bad person. Generally, they do bad things, but for the good of all. They do what's necessary, even though they don't necessarily want to.
Now, okay. That archetype of the anti-hero gets me because by definition, if you are doing heroic things, are you not the hero? So,
but what means are you doing heroic things?
What do you mean by means?
Well, okay, take Riddick.
Okay, he was a murderer in a past life or something of that nature.
Oh, he continues to kill lots of people.
Yes, but he's killing the bad guys.
But he's killing bad people.
So he's not the anti-hero. He is definitely the protagonist, the person you want to see.
But he's also, usually, and when they use that terminology, they're not a nice person.
Okay.
They're not Superman. Liberty and justice for all. And the sun shines upon him. They're more of the dark, brooding type. Batman.
So Batman's an anti-hero?
No, that's a bad idea. Completely ignore what that. I just thought of somebody dark. I don't know. I'm obsessed with Vin Diesel, so I keep even Dominic Toretto's quote unquote an anti-hero.
But I don't understand
because they use him as a thief. He's a thief.
Yes.
But they used him
things that are from bad people for the good ends.
So, but he started off just thieving for himself, though.
Okay. So,
and then they turned him into a thief for good.
So he is the hero.
Well, maybe I guess when they say anti-hero, then using your logic, it's what they used to do versus what they're doing now.
Okay. So here's my point. So I'm going to use a very broad movie to make this come a point part. Here was the first Star Wars, New Hope. Okay, so who's the anti-hero in that?
Han.
Why?
Because he's a scruffy nerf herder.
Why is he the anti-hero?
Because he smuggles things. He once was a smuggler,
yes,
but now he's a good guy.
Okay.
No.
What did he do in that movie? But save the princess, do all these various things, come back, basically help blow up the Death Star.
Right, but
what makes him the anti-hero?
Well, again, it's the reference to their past is what I'm going to say.
So you think that just because someone had a terrible past, they can never be a hero?
And I'm saying because when they say anti-hero, it's generally the attitude in which they're being heroic.
Okay, there you go. I'm glad now you're following me. You're following me there. So now the hero of this show is who?
Luke.
Why?
Because
blew up the Death Star, but why?
Because they wrote him that way.
No. Why? What was his motivation?
to help people.
No.
No?
Was it?
It wasn't.
Why?
Why? I don't know then.
And this is the
Yeah.
thing. This is the thing that always gets me. It's
Why did
because
Luke?
everybody blankets this whole they're a hero, they're this, they're that, and they never stop to think of the motivations that a lot of these people who are quote unquote heroes are not acting in your heroic fashion that you would like to think that they are. Why was he doing the things that he did? Why did Luke decide?
I'd have to rewatch. To become a Jedi.
No.
No.
Okay. Leia.
So Luke is mad because his aunt and uncle get killed by the Empire. Perhaps it's vengeance. Perhaps he's just a stupid kid that just wants to run off and fight. So he's ignorant. He has real no motivations to it. Maybe he's just after the pretty girl. But all of his motivations are not, I want to help people. It is selfish. But he's not the anti-hero. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. See, that's what gets me. But yet Han Solo, if he was just a straight up mercenary that said, listen, we're going to pay you to do this thing, even though his motivations are to be paid to do this job that he does not want to do, is he not still heroic?
Yes.
All right. This term anti-hero, I don't understand it. It makes zero sense to me. Other than that when people say it, the only category that I can take it and try to apply it is somebody who is a hero, but is not 100% squeaky clean, perfect. They're not Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And
The only perfect example of an anti-hero, in my opinion, would be Deadpool. Deadpool is a psychopathic, selfish type person who will do what he wants in whatever fashion he wants, but he still does good in some meaning.
right. So that's my point. Is this whole anti-hero thing, I don't think nobody understands what that means. That's too broad of a stroke.
For me, I like it. Yes, the points you make are completely make sense. I like that though, because I think in general, people are drawn to the anti-hero because basically they have more depth to them. They have more sides to the coin than just Luke, who's annoying. He's the good guy because why? Because he's the good guy.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Han Solo was still an anti-hero, but it was when he first met Luke and Obi-Wan. Because typically, he wasn't willing to help them at first, but then some agreement came upon them.
Right.
Of where...
Well, but take Obi-Wan.
but
Obi-Wan's like good guy because he's a good guy because he's a good guy. He just has a good heart.
Technically,
was a good master.
Han Solo was still an anti-hero, but then became a hero in the later trilogy.
I would argue that Han Solo was just a taxi driver. He was just a means to an end, but then was put in a situation where he stepped up and acted more heroically than anybody else.
Okay. I love this discussion. We've got to move on.
No, we don't. We don't want to move on. Why do you want to move on?
Because we have 30-something other responses.
None of which are more interesting than what I have to say.
No,
I'm just saying.
I asked for questions from our listeners, and I want to acknowledge them.
We can acknowledge them, but my point is that this anti-hero thing, and you made a good point about how people like anti-heroes. Why is that?
Because
I think go ahead, Enrique.
They don't take the typical hero approach. What do you guys think of a hero for action?
No,
like when you think of hero, what do you think?
Superman. Superman is like boom.
Superman helps everyone and everything. That's
at cost to himself.
To the
what
cost
does it cost him? Can't die.
He can't
if he
die.
gets kryptonited,
but he still helps people.
Superman versus Batman, he died saving all of them, fighting Doomsday.
He came back. But
he didn't know he was going to.
You get really interested in this now. Like I'm going to have to do this on a later day because I can't explain myself. But for me,
gather your thoughts.
An anti-hero, it doesn't typically do hero-like things.
Okay.
Of where an anti-hero can be selfish sometimes.
Right.
He can be, I wouldn't say narcissistic.
So like, say that Han Solo at the end of New Hope didn't come back. Like I took my money and he left. Would he still be a hero? Like Luke still blew up the Death Star, the whatever force. He dodged the bullet and made it happen. But Han saved the princess, did his thing, got out of there, did all this stuff, and he left. Would he be the hero? What would he be?
He would just still be.
They'd call him a quitter and a traitor.
Right. But yet he did more. Like all this was facilitated by him.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
But he still got paid.
He got paid.
He got paid.
He got paid.
Well,
He kept his end of the bargain.
He did.
To make it simple for movie terms, what you said, the whole Darth Vader arc. Darth Vader is an anti-hero.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Hold
No,
on.
he's not.
Hold on. He started off a villain, did terrible, horrendous things.
He didn't start off a villain.
Well, okay, sorry. Anakin. He did in the original movies. He was Darth Vader. Just
Yes.
bam. Here's Darth Vader.
Yes.
Here's this bad guy. By the time we get to Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader kills the Emperor, brings balance to the Force. What I'm saying in anti-hero, now that we have thought about it for a few minutes here, and I've never given this much thought in my life, I think an anti-hero, what we have said, is more interesting because they add depth to the character. You have a person with a dark past. They've done stuff. They do things not in the, bright shining light in the name of the law. They may do things, in the underworld or take care of business however they need to, kill people, whatever. I think an anti-hero basically just does that arc either off screen at the beginning of the movie, or they get there much faster. Therefore, they're the anti-hero because they were bad, but now they're the good guy. Darth Vader was bad. He was good, but then bad. And then he was a good guy again. I think it's just a faster version of that.
So you're saying
If we started off a movie, let's say the first movie we got to was Return of the Jedi. That's the first movie we got to. Let's say Darth Vader does not die.
Right.
Or Anakin doesn't die. Oh, I threw the Emperor down, but he still survives. Continues the rest of the movie. He did all these bad things. I think he would be the anti-hero of the next movies.
Vader would be.
Well, now recovered back into Anakin.
Okay. So here is my thought on that. And you go out there and you do what you want to with this, because this is a thing that for Rich only I hold this opinion. So Anakin was a good guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then he fell
Was
away to the dark side, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Was he ever good?
He killed the entire everything, the order of all this stuff. What for? Why did he go nuts and say, I'm going to kill the temple, the Jedi temple, and just go insane?
Rage.
No, why? For who?
For
The
Padme.
Emperor.
No. For who?
Padme?
You said that like you were shocked, like you didn't know that's why he did it.
No, I'm just asking.
No, you watched it. You know it was for Padme. He did not like the Emperor that much.
Yeah, he didn't care.
It had nothing to do with it. Did you even watch the Star Wars, the prequels?
Yeah, you're making it more than it was.
What do you mean? It wasn't more
He
than
killed
it was.
Padme himself.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he did not.
What?
No, you're right.
I swear,
Her lost love killed her.
I'm about to take you to the emergency room and
Her
have
lost
something
love.
scanned because you are
Her lost love.
No. Why did he join up with Palpatine?
To protect Padme.
Exactly. He killed off everybody for his wife. She's pregnant. Here's his thing. He's all about it, right? For her, for his family.
Yes.
Why did he kill the Emperor?
For family.
For family. So was he thinking, I'm going to now the Emperor is suddenly awful person and I don't like the Empire and all this? No. He acted the same way that he did then. Then when he killed the Emperor, it was the same thing. It was all based on a reaction to protecting his family. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So there was no motivating power of, I'm going to do this for the greater good. Anakin acted in that realm as selfishly as he has always done, doing something to protect what he feels like this is what I need to do to protect my family.
But here's where you run into an issue.
Okay.
Is your reasoning and the writing of a movie.
Okay.
No, that is the writing of the movie.
I know, but by your reasoning, that doesn't make you a good person. to act in a way selfishly for family, whether it's for the greater good or the not.
Well, wait a minute now.
Because you're saying
Wait a
Anakin
minute now.
killed everyone.
He did.
For Padme.
For his
Yes.
family. Yes. He was to protect her.
So is that something to become Force ghost worthy? No.
No. And here it is. Everybody who doesn't give it a second thought assumes the Force ghost thing is a good and bad thing. And it is not. You're looking at this as the same black and white way that everybody is. Just because he was able to be standing there next to Obi-Wan and everything, that this was somehow a redeeming quality, or that this was a symbol that he is somehow on the good side. And I would argue that that is nebulous enough even in the...
That's how it's presented for the masses. And unless you're going to go into all this other legendary stuff,
I'm just saying.
There's never a Sith ghost.
Oh, technically, like if we're gonna branch off,
No, that's what I'm saying. But you're branching.
No, not branching.
I'm talking about the core movies that presented this universe in a way where these are the good guys, these are the bad guys.
Well, technically, the animation for Star Wars, the prequel, wasn't a branch off. It was mainly a extension.
Are you talking about Clone Wars?
Yeah, Clone Wars.
No. I'm just saying. Did you watch the last Star Wars movie, and you have the audacity to say there was never a Sith Force ghost?
Who was a Sith Force ghost?
I'm not going to...
The whole auditorium that was there with Palpatine. I swear you're going to have to... We'll get your memory check.
No, wait.
So,
wait.
Yes.
Was it...
The whole premise of this.
Hold up.
Yes.
I didn't... Hold up.
Yes. I swear you haven't watched these. Yes. So my point is that the overall factor of him being a good guy or a bad guy is based on what action?
Murder.
Right. So from your standpoint, Anakin is somehow redeemed by killing an emperor, which he didn't do for any other reason other than to protect his family, protect his son. That was the motivating thing. That is what is depicted in the movie.
Well, no.
Yes, it is.
No. Well, hold on. Because you see him, he's reasoning within himself. Basically, why am I doing this? What's going on? Because he's watching the Emperor electrocute Luke.
Yes.
And he sits there and he looks at the Emperor.
He looks at Luke.
He takes a sweet time.
Yeah.
Look, oh, Dad!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And he looks back at the Emperor.
Yeah.
So then, like, he's coming to this conclusion within himself of, you know what? I think I've been wrong this whole time.
Right. And protected his son.
Well, he protected his son, but I think he also came to the conclusion of, what have I been doing? I mean, I think he comes to the conclusion of, I'm not going to be this wicked person anymore. And then kills a guy.
Right. Yeah. So my point being is that...
And there's also the likelihood that George Lucas didn't write any of this with this sort of depth in mind.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that he had thoughts on it of what was going and so forth. But the same thing is true is that at what point, what did he do to be... using your logic, he did all these terrible things. Killed children, burnt the temple, caused umpteen murders and genocide and things all throughout this years of him being Vader. But in this one action, he's now good.
But that occurs in movies and TV shows quite a bit. There's a show, The 100, where there basically was no, like, you had good people doing horrendous things throughout this show.
Right.
One of the main characters of the show, one of his big arcs was he started following this one guy, kind of went down this dark path, murdered a whole bunch of people, and then like the next season spent in a redemption mode of trying to be a good person again.
Okay.
It's just, that's what I'm saying. I think it's like when we say anti-hero, in my mind, I'm just thinking to skip a 3-movie arc for somebody, we just bam, they're an anti-hero. Why? Well, you kind of get the idea they have done some shady things in their past.
Okay. So your idea is simply, and this is what I would propose, is that the term anti-hero is just your presumption that this person is not your typical hero.
They're not a paragon, correct?
Right. So this person does not fit this mold of what we think a hero would be.
Captain America,
Right.
Superman,
Right.
these people we hold in high regard. Captain America even less so because he has
Okay.
killed people.
So
But
basically,
Superman,
anybody who is not fictional or is written in any humanized way would be an anti-hero.
correct.
Okay.
Could be,
That's why I don't like that term.
but it's there.
I know, but it doesn't mean anything.
But it does.
It does.
For when you go into a movie and there's for me, and that's you're getting very deep bogged down. But for the average moviegoer, if you say anti-hero, okay, I know you're going to have a Dominic Toretto, a Han Solo, as opposed to a Captain America or a Superman.
Right.
So you're going to have somebody with
all that is that
with
there's
some
nuance.
Exactly.
So
you're going to have someone with nuance
So
in
if there's
them.
any anti-hero, there's probably a little bit of writing in this show
Correct.
and some imagination.
Almost any good show, they're all anti-heroes. There's all this gray area.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Would you call?
That's why I don't watch Marvel.
But no, would you call
I would, and you would answer.
Ethan Hunt an anti-hero?
Ethan Hunt?
Yeah.
No, because even when I wouldn't.
I think he's straight up hero. However, despite that, I like the depth and character they've given him in these movies.
I don't know what depth. I'm puzzled.
Just the way that he has dealt with all these betrayals. He's protecting his wife.
Yeah.
He's got all this stuff going on.
But he's
these hard decisions he has to make.
Yeah, but he's very.
And even though I think they give. Okay,
He's not an anti-hero.
We've got to. No, I agree. To me, he's a straight up hero.
Right.
And I like him, even though I don't normally, like to what you said, the nuance.
Yeah.
I don't normally like heroes.
Yeah.
I like the anti guy because it's got a little bit of edge to him. But I like Ethan Hunt.
I think it's funny that the heroes that anybody likes are always these people. Even with Luke, it's the person. Luke, nobody really liked him until he went further down.
Until he started wearing black.
Yeah, like until he started getting some personality. Yeah,
that's exact personality. You got to have some personality. You got to have some edge.
Yes, which is why I think it's very fascinating that we like heroes of that nature that have a past, or they themselves are willing to do these various things and redemption arcs, so forth and so on. But yet, from a societal standpoint, that would never work.
No.
Somebody who's on Twitter and said something done a decade ago,
made a huge mistake.
They're canceled.
Canceled.
There's no arc of that. I think that's fascinating.
Han Solo would have been canceled. Luke would have been canceled. He kissed his sister.
Han did drugs.
Incestuousness.
Han did drugs.
Who else would have been? Dominic Toretto canceled. Any anti-hero
Lando was a pimp. Well, let's just say it. Let's just say it.
Canceled.
Okay. Yes. All right. He had a cape.
Kirk? Philanderer.
Hey, that was so much harassment went on the Enterprise. There is gone. Scotty was a drunk.
Canceled.
All of these people would be canceled.
All these anti-heroes canceled.
So I'm just saying.
But in real life, but in the movies, love it.
I know. I just find that fascinating.
Okay.
But I don't like this. Why I don't like the term anti-hero.
See,
and anybody, please, everybody, Maximilian, all y'all, send boardgamesnobs at gmail.com.
Oh, if Max still listens, he will have loved that discussion.
I feel the emails coming. I could feel it in my bones.
No. I'll look up some more info. I swear I can find
I stepped off in it there.
So let's move on. Although Soul Train did say to Michael, every good villain is the hero of their own story.
They are. That's
which is true.
That is a good quote.
Hassan Dervish, in regards to the 3 board games you think every gamer should try, and 3 board games or foods you wish you'd never tried. Hassan Dervish said, I don't think there's such a thing as a game you wish you'd never try. Otherwise, you wouldn't know if you hate it. Turning to 3 board games every gamer should try.
Good job.
Assuming they're already gamers. Out of the ones I've played would be Beyond the Sun, Great Tech Tree, The King is Dead, limited actions and tight love indirect combat, And Haven, because it never gets mentioned. That's true because I've never heard of Haven. Have you?
Sounds familiar.
David Allen got back at Hassan. He said, don't try to weasel your way out of this, pal. Now you got to pick 3 foods you never wish you tried. And Hassan says, okra, okra, and okra.
Boy, he's striking at the heart of us from Oklahoma here.
Each time I tried, I hoped it'd grow on me. Atrocious stuff.
It is pretty rough.
David said, I've had pickled okra and it wasn't so bad, but if I never have it again, I'm not going to cry about it. Okay, I love okra in all forms. I like it baked. I like it pickled. The greasy, waxy thing about it, I don't care. I like it stewed with tomatoes. I will take okra any way you give it to me. I will eat it fresh out of the garden. That's the best way, actually. Brian Levicolai said, I took my honeymoon to Japan and stayed with family outside Nagasaki. The night we arrived, we went to this little bar with, I don't know how to say this word, izakaya food, and I was presented with okra. I chewed it behind the most uncomfortable smile for an eternity. Brian Levicolai, he said I literally died.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
Are you writing to us from are you a Force ghost?
He's dead.
He is.
I literally died.
I literally died.
Oh, damn, Brian, come on. Okay, moving on. Michael, we discussed your stuff enough. I'm going to skip your 3. Sorry. David. Okay, David, the founder of the question. 3 to try. Cryo. Love it. Champions of Midgard. Meh. Amun-Re. We have that. Have never played it.
Amun-Re.
It's right there. And it's been on the shelf for
I like
years.
to look at it, though.
I just like looking at it. 3 games to avoid, but one is actually arguably a food. Cards Against Humanity. I've never tried it. Don't care. Power Grid. We liked it back in the day.
It's all right.
The last time we played it, I was not so much about it.
I was done with it.
And Hakari, fermented Greenland shark. I hear that's one of the worst foods ever. Okay, moving along here. Soul Train says 3 games everyone should try. High Society, agree 100%. Quacks, never played it. Honda Tectonica. Tectonica.
You all right?
Regretful games to avoid if you like fun. Merchants of the Dark, Road, Merchants of the Dark Road, Formula D, and Dwellings of Elderman.
It's Formula Day.
I had Formula D. I owned it. I played it twice and said, I don't care for this game. Heat has blown Formula D out of the water.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
As I predicted back in the day that it was going to be the hotness.
Back in the day.
And it was.
Back in the Formula day.
It was. Still very much.
Brian back at it. Brian Levicolai says 3 to try. Project Elite. Real time can be fun. Love that game. Jerry has my minis. I don't know if you're still painting them or what.
I'm in the process of painting a bunch of stuff.
Hand of Fate. Never heard of it. A criminally overlooked game that seemed to sink a company based on a great video game with Ian O'Toole art before Ian O'Toole art looked like Ian O'Toole art.
The Hand of Fate is a Steam game.
And Kemet.
Come on.
3 that should die, according to Brian Levicolai. Betrayal, Carnegie, Waylanders.
Wow, he went hard.
Okay. And then there was a discussion about Mole.
I don't know about Mole.
It's
Mole?
disgusting.
Isn't
Enrique.
What?
It's from
Wait a
your
minute.
people.
But no, it's
Huh?
it's stomach lining, isn't it?
No, it's a sauce.
What's the stomach lining? Why am I blanking on
It's
that?
not lingua. That's tongue. It's not. Oh, tripa. I think
No,
tripa.
it's not tripa. What did your dad always order?
What? That big bowl?
Yeah, what's in the bowl?
What?
I think it's tripa.
No, it's not tripa.
Menudo?
Menudo.
Okay, that might be right.
Menudo. It's what it is.
No, mole is a sauce that has I don't know what it's made from. There's some chocolate in there. I've never had a good one. There was a lady I knew straight from Mexico, had us over, fried some chicken, made some mole. Blah.
That's a mole.
So I tend to agree on the mole talk. Okay. Jesse Jones, 3 to try. And their associated foods to try. Interesting. High Society, escargot. Makes sense. Azul, piri piri chicken. Okay. Innovation, microwave popcorn. 3 to avoid, flux. It's like eating borax. Lost Ruins of Arnak, 100% monkey brains. A Feast for Odin, 2 hours of all-you-can-eat herring buffet. I could do with never playing Flux. I've played Lost Ruins. I don't mind it. A Feast for Rodin, it seems like too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when am I going to do my 3?
Go ahead.
Do you have 3?
I do not. I haven't thought about it.
Okay, so when that question came up, with 3 games you wish people would play or give a try or 2, whatever, that wording of it threw me off because I think of everybody. I think it has to be something that's accessible. Because naturally, if you ask me games that I wish everybody would try, well, I want to make sure everybody would play Brass at least once or Barrage or something of that nature. But thinking of that and using that metric in my head of something that would maybe not be an entry-level game, but be accessible, first off, I would like everybody to play Barony, number 1.
Okay.
Just simply because I know the simplicity of that. It's a game for which I have always enjoyed, and it's nobody recognizes it. You know, it's kind of something that's outside the norm now for quite some time. So Barony definitely was one. The other one that came to mind when I was thinking about this, I believe, let me look here on the shelf. Why is it not coming to me? It was High Society was another one. But High Society has been around for quite some time, but I still think that people don't give it a try. I would if I switch out between High Society and Modern Art, just simply because those are 2 games that are bidding games. And I think people who don't like bidding, those 2 games kind of break you of that. Like Barony's the area control type thing, and the bidding aspect there of High Society and Modern Art. Well, my third one this is driving me insane because it was one that I thought about, and it was a really good one too.
Well, and it is an interesting question because of 3 games you think everyone should try. Well, you could just pick your favorite top 3 of all time,
right?
But that's not something.
Yeah.
According to your thing, it's not going to appeal to everybody. One I think everyone should try is Mafia. Or Werewolf, whatever you consider, whichever version of that. It's easy. You can include almost anyone, children, young, old, and it's just the social deduction game of Mafia and or Werewolf, whichever version you prefer. It's the same game. There is an exclusion factor once you get voted out, but that game is. My introduction to Mafia just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like I'd never played that style of game before, and I didn't know that style of game was possible. Other than that, going into board games, I was tending to viticulture keeps popping to mind because for me that's like
it's a quintessential
worker placement.
Even though I think you can move past it, you can get bored with it. I believe
so.
It's still good.
Like I can't stop thinking about viticulture in regards to this question of 3. So I guess I will toss that in there. And then I've got a social deduction. I've got a worker placement. I probably would use something like High Society, something, very card based, quick and fun.
I would also say in terms of food, duck, because I've been duck hunting a lot here lately, simply because I love duck. And you can't buy duck around here, but duck is a very acquired taste. I would say duck. People who don't like blue cheese, you need to give blue cheese a better try.
So does duck have no relation in taste to even dark meat chicken?
It's like liver. It's more along the line of liver, but it is dark meat.
That's an organ, though.
Well, it's not.
I don't like liver.
Why don't you like organs?
I don't like liver.
Do you not like Bach?
I grew up. Mom would make liver. I'd be like, oh my god.
But people don't like blue cheese for some reason.
Oh, I love blue cheese.
I find people all the time that hate just straight up blue cheese, not the cream, like the dressing. I make my own blue cheese dressing. Just the blue cheese as a whole. And
in regards to this question, to throw something out there, I would say Pandemic, a cooperative game that'd be easy for everyone to play.
I'd say Royals before I'd say Pandemic.
Oh, Royals came to mind too.
I think cooperative games. I mean, of course, but yeah, Royals would be another one. Either way, this is a good question. But games for which you don't, and I could see people pushing back, going, "Why games you wish you hadn't played?" I think that there are games. When someone asked me that question, of course, I can't think of any games that come to mind that I was like, "This was stupid. I wish I hadn't played it," because that does make the point of like you have to play it before you know you don't like it, even though sometimes you just kind of know.
Well, you can just say, if you could go back in time and not waste your time with this game.
Well, when I think of that question, of course, I went a little too deep on it, of thinking about games that I'm thinking of games that I had played at the wrong time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, Mage Knight is a game by Vlado Chvátil that's gotten an Ultimate Edition reprint. Not a lot of people remember that there was a reskinning of that. Star Trek Frontiers, I believe, was basically Mage Knight, but Star Trek. I was not into the fantasy realm type thing, the fantasy type setting, but Star Trek was something that certainly caught my attention. I got a hold of a copy of Star Trek Frontiers back when I got into board gaming. It is incredibly heavy. It is just as heavy as Mage Knight. And this was back before I had really gotten into hobby gaming again. And I attempted to learn and solo Star Trek Frontiers and spent a lot of time trying to get into it. And I just wasn't ready for it. It would be like somebody just buying this, going from playing target games and then going and buying this heavy game and going, I'm going to try to learn this. I regret it because as soon as I got frustrated with it, I sold it, and I regret selling it because I think if I had it today, I would play it. So there's timing, I would say, is that there's some games that I wish I had not played this game at this time because it burned me and I got frustrated with it and I sold it. And now looking back, it's like, no, I would play that game and I'm sure I would like it. But finding it is you'll never find it. The same thing with Battlestar Galactica, the board game. We played that. You had all that. I remember thoroughly enjoying it one time. We had one bad round of it and you sold it. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, whatever, but that experience is not out there and that game is way out of print. I think I wish we hadn't played that game so early on because I think we didn't quite appreciate what it was trying to do. And when we had one bad game of it, we were done with it when really we should have held on to that.
I wouldn't say you're wrong to that, although that was a 3-hour game and that's just style of game.
But now, I mean, there are lighter games that we like and enjoy and go through, and it's not so thank you, but we still enjoy those occasionally long event games.
That's another podcast I want to have is the short card games versus the Chaos Orders, the Twilight Imperiums of the world. But we're getting off topic. What was the topic? What were you saying?
I was just going on about playing games at the wrong time, and you were reading stuff from Facebook and not paying attention.
No, I was looking at my games that I've played and the games that we DNF'd because I was trying to think of some that I wish I hadn't wasted time on.
No, I don't waste. There's not a game I've ever played. I'll give you a good example. We'll talk about one we DNF'd just today.
Okay.
So Pegaspiel Games, The Boldest. Now, The Boldest is a game that I have seen for a long time. It came out, had some very nice artwork on it. Pegaspiel is a respected company. The theme of this game is like post-apocalyptic kind of, steampunk kind of. You're all out in the forest and you're sending your teams out to recover artifacts and fight and so forth. This game was, when it came out, it was very expensive. I remember it was like $50-$60 when this big box game came out.
Oh my God, I can't imagine paying that for that game.
And then it went away. Like I couldn't find it for a while. And then I kept seeing it pop up in weird places. Well, I got it on sale, got it at the virtual flea market. Somebody sold it to me cheap. And I thought, you know what? I want to give this a try. I looked at the rule book. Okay, seemed I was open to it. Very basic game. You have a hand of cards that represent either warriors or hunters or cooks or technicians. You have a little screen and all these players use your big hand of cards to lay down stacks of people that you're going to go into the woods and hunt and do these various actions. And everybody reveals their hands. And if you're the first expedition and you put down all your soldiers in that one, well, then you're going to send your soldiers out to go and hunt and get cards out of this tableau. But if somebody else also on their first expedition put warriors, well, then it's whoever has the most warriors gets to go and the other people stay at camp. That is essentially the game. You're just going out, getting cards that have victory points on them or cards that you use to help you get other cards that have more victory points on them. Rinse, dry, repeat for 5 rounds. This game is incredibly boring. I see why it was rated so poorly, and I have no idea why this is a big box game. This could have been a very small box game with less cards and less everything and done the same thing very easily. So very disappointed in this game. But do I regret? And a matter of fact, I was the one that said halfway through the game, We've seen everything that this game does. There's nothing waiting for us. It doesn't get any harder. It's going to be just as dull now. In an hour, it's still going to be dull. Let's just stop. We stopped. I did not regret it. I don't regret buying this game. I don't regret playing this game because I've mentioned time and time again that there's certain mechanisms that I find fascinating because I've always kicked around of designing a game at some point in time or trying to find a game that scratches a certain itch. That is this idea of having a team, building a team, sending this team out to do something, this team facing adversity, coming back, so forth, so on. That type of mechanism and thing. So that any game that does that, I'm just learning what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Was this game a waste of time? Not to me. I mean, you just can't find out until you played it.
What about Machi Koro?
So Machi Koro was completely and totally dull to me. I understood the mechanism quickly. You're just rolling dice, and 7's the most, obviously this thing's going to activate because this is the most likely thing you're going to roll. I found that is such a basic mechanism with no interaction with people that it didn't care. So do I wish we would have DNF'd that game? Yes. Do I regret playing it? No, because it opened my eyes to what people think is such a great popular game. When you take something that is very basic, people well know about it, but yet you just retheme it, add a little something to it, and there you go. There's your game. I was fascinated that was such a popular game. And that
huge. Now you don't hear about it anymore.
Well, no, because everybody played it.
Everybody's on the space base.
And they're done with it. I'd love to play Space Base.
Yeah, I played it on BGA. Brandon Haynes should try Tyrants of the Underdark on the Teutonica. He's write a bunch of flavor text to his picks. Paladins of the West Kingdom. But I think Raiders of the North Sea is something everyone should check out. 3 board games I wish I never tried. Bears versus Babies. Never heard of it. He says mass market drivel. Valhallamas?
Valhallamas, yes.
It was a Kickstarter that no one has heard of. And there's a reason for that. Rated to 4.3 on BGG. And Red Shirts. Star Trek knockoff. Never heard of any of those on that should not play list. Ryan Maxwell, 3 to try. Shifty-Eyed Spies. He says, never laughed as hard during a game as I do every time I play Shifty-Eyed Spies. Never heard of that one. Merchant's Cove, Eclipse, or Twilight Imperium. So he went.
Shifty-Eyed Spies.
3 I wish I never tried. Oregon Trail, the card game.
I've heard nothing but terrible things about that.
Same about that. Return to Dark Tower and Side Effects.
I wanted to play. I actually talked to the publishers about Side Effects and was wanting to get a copy of that. I thought it was supposed to be really good.
He says, by far the cringiest game I've ever played, and at times a depressing look in the mirror at some of the toughest challenges I've faced in my life. Yeah,
Interesting.
There you go. Rob Greco, 3 games everyone should try. Azul, Nemesis, Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
He says not all games need to be pretty to be good.
So the theme of Shifty-Eyed Spies, you're all sitting at a table trying to covertly communicate with each other with nothing but your eyes.
Oh, God.
It's technically not a board game as there's no board. Each spy is assigned an identity, a specifically colored spy tile that's on display to everybody. You then draw a card of a different colored spy and a location. The player must wink at the colored spy whose card they drew, and then they must wait for that spy to signal with their eyes which location they must go. So basically, you're trying to get there. The spy's tiles look pretty cool.
You've got a good wink, Enrique. It's pretty good. It's not as pronounced as I thought you would do. Yours is more of a blink.
Yeah.
A one-eyed blink. I do the emphatic.
One important part of the game is that anybody at the table can call out another spy if they see a stray wink between other players. This stops the spies from successfully completing.
It's wink.
Yeah,
there's a classic game of wink where you're just winking at people. You have to match up. You have to wink them out. It's like, or assassin. It was often called. Jerry, look at me.
Yeah, but you're not being.
Wink. I've played wink before. I'd rather play wink, I think, than Shifty-Eyed Spies. Luke Holt, 3 to try. Oh my God! People, leave it to people. All right, Luke.
Leave it to
it's
people.
fine. It's fine. Games I've never. That's my fault. I'm not gamey enough.
Well, Sam,
Said the wild boar.
you are a boar.
Goetia, 9 Kings of Solomon.
This is a boar.
Have you heard of Goetia, 9 Kings of Solomon?
Kesha, she's that one.
No.
You get
Golden
what
Trans
she-
Am? Yeah. Blood
Yeah.
Bowl, team manager.
Yeah.
War of the Ring, the card game.
Yeah, I've heard about all those.
So you never try. Tsukiyami,
Never heard of it.
Dojo-kun,
Never heard of it.
Bitoku. See a
I ain't
pattern
tell
there.
where he's been hanging.
Let's see a pattern there.
Tell where he's been hanging out.
Chasson. 3 games you should try. Stone Age, Cosmic, Raccoon Tycoon.
All right.
That's okay, bud.
I approve all those,
Okay.
Chad.
3 games / foods I wish I had never tried. Formula D,
Yeah, okay.
German chocolate cake,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
named after the Germans.
No.
Of heart and brain.
No, it's
The party
named.
game.
We've had this discussion.
It is many. I looked this up.
Yes, we've had this discussion. You upset us each time you do that. It's not named
No,
after
no, no. It
Germans.
was you, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. It's not named after Germans.
Albert Shaw, The Great Zimbabwe, Pax Porfiriana, Blood Bowl. 3 you should never try. Fury of Dracula. I would probably like Fury of Dracula because it's Whitechapel. Letters of Whitechapel. Oh, he says Fury of Dracula, Fury of Dracula, Fury of Dracula.
Okay.
Paul Malloy, 3 to try. Nemesis, that's the second time I've heard that one. Blood on the Clock Tower. That's a massive game everyone loves.
Oh yeah,
Shut
is
up
that
and sit
party
down.
game?
Just shut up and sit down.
And Root.
Root.
Okay.
I do
Root.
think everybody should play Root.
Root's an interesting game.
I doesn't mean to like it. It's,
Nope, don't
this is
care
just-
for it.
just
Eh.
It's fine.
want to play it,
It's weird.
but some people like it.
Interesting concept.
3 to avoid. Munchkin, never played it. Scythe, I agree. Oh, no, not to never play. That was one of my introductory games, and that's kind of holds a soft place in my heart next to my fatty tissue. And Cosmic Encounter. Ooh, shots fired. Jerry.
Well, just people have opinions. They can be wrong.
All right.
All right.
We're almost, we have 3 people left. Let's just
my
get,
God.
sorry.
Just power
sorry.
through it, you big boar.
Trevor. Lost Cities, Biblios, Ticket to Ride. 3 to try.
Baby lows, yeah.
Food / games I wish I never tried. Vegemite,
Sandwiches?
canned squid,
Ooh.
and
Interesting.
Quelf.
Quelf.
I think it's a game.
It's a weird quail.
Quelf.
Troy Clahessy. I hadn't heard from him in a while.
Quelf?
Quelf.
That sounds like when you flutter away really fast.
I'm going to look that up.
We got a quelf.
Codenames, Unmatched, Cluedo.
Yeah.
Games everyone should avoid. Machi Koro. Look at there.
Yeah.
Scrabble.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yep.
I hate Scrabble. Anything with exploding in the title. Kittens, babies, llamas, whatever. And Sam Rouleau.
You could avoid Sam Merlot?
No, he's the last one on the list. Games everyone should try. El Grande. Jerry disagrees. The Crew.
I don't have a problem with El Grande.
Regicide. I disagree with Regicide.
Regicide's decent. I enjoyed
Everyone should try.
It's a deck of cards. I enjoyed it.
Everyone.
Wait, what?
Disagree.
What is it?
It's a deck of cards. That game that we played with Joffrey. Wasn't it Joffrey? No, it was that we played that
You played
with
it with
Natty.
Joff.
We
You
played with Natty.
Yeah. Games I wish I
The
didn't
little
try.
card game with the cards and you're fighting the jacks. and the
Cosmic
queens.
Encounter.
Oh yeah.
Bonanza. We got that for free at BGG Spring. BGG.
Just played
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's okay.
You did?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a
And I
family.
played.
It's a family game.
And Time Stories.
Still haven't.
Are
played
you?
Time Story.
So
That's
see,
it.
you got all your plugs in on your question,
Well, when you ask the people and then they write in, they like to hear their
and
names
I think it'd be
mentioned, and
nice
I
if all these
appreciate
people would
that
leave a
about you.
like and subscribe and vote for us,
Do not vote for us.
please, desperately.
Vote or not to vote.
We're 3 reviews away from having 100 on Apple.
No,
We got
we're
it.
not. No, we're not. We
We
already
need-
got it. By the time this comes out, we have got it. Trust me.
Apples.
For the 100th review,
We're not going to do anything special. I don't know why you're acting like
we'll just read it.
He's like,
We'll
we'll
say, hey, there
yeah,
it is.
we'll read a review. We'll read the next 3 reviews.
The next positive
we'll
review.
give out a special thing.
We will read the next 3 reviews.
There you
That
go.
gets us to 100.
There you go.
Because presently, the last one was some guy that had positive things to say about us.
Oh, good.
Before
like
him,
positive.
though, was someone that had negative things to say.
That's
I
fine.
want to hear about the negative.
Read the negatives.
So the negative guy said,
No, read all the negatives. Can you sort by the negatives?
RIP, September 11th, 2023 is when he left the review.
Boo.
Goofy and unfunny. With so
How-
many good shows out there, why listen to this? It's not good at all.
Well, all right.
Not an argument.
I mean, can't argue with him.
That's
his opinion.
Yes.
It's his opinion.
I think sometimes we are goofy.
But the last review was by someone whose name was Polarite. November 30th. I kind of like these guys. They're okay in my book. 5 stars. Fun show.
Well, that's not kind of liking. That's really liking.
He really does like it.
Can you sort by all the bad reviews? Let me look at them. Is there not a way to?
No.
You can't just look at the 1 star? Let me look at them.
Hold on.
Give it to me.
Let me look
There's not a way to look at them.
Let me look at this one. You can't just go down and look at the bad reviews?
No, it's not like Amazon where you just click on the star.
25-minute show, 15 minutes talking about blob movies. Yeah.
He'll love this episode.
Well, no, because I like that.
He's not listening, though.
Pretty unbearable to listen to. I remember that guy. That was like 3 years ago. Great show, fun game, but I bet these guys would be a great game with, but still gave us one. Yeah, it's fine. I like the negativity. I think it's good.
I think most of them that leave a 1-star review don't leave any, critiques. It's like 1 star. Well, I want to know why.
Well, they did. They were not funny.
No, and our rating is lower than the amount of the percentage of the.
Well, most people don't leave like 4-star, like they're all reviews. 5-star or
it's either
1 star.
5 or 1.
Yeah, that's goofy. Oh, that's why I don't like any types of these reviews because you just can't. You can't. I don't know. It's not objective.
Obvious.
Because I don't think that we're a 5-star show. I don't think we're a 1 star.
A 10-star show. We're not a 10-star show.
3.5, possibly a solid 4.
We're not a 1-star show.
I thought you didn't like that 3.5.
I don't, but that does that. It does the pseudo how many stars, but we're going to do point whatever. Because technically the show's a 4.4.
Are we a strong 4?
We're a 3.5 to 4.
Okay.
I'm going to go, and that's prideful. We're above average.
Okay.
What makes it bad?
What makes it bad?
What makes it 3.5?
What makes it 3.5 to 4?
Mm-hmm.
I think that in terms of actual board game dissemination of information and putting out an actual description of the game and how it plays, there's tons of other podcasts that do that. And I think that is not our strong suit. I think we can be very dismissive of some games. And
this is something I think of whenever we review games. And I don't think of it when we review it. I think of it when I hear this, and then I look in hindsight of games I've said, this game sucks.
Yes.
Is the fact that this person put out a designed, published, and got a game out there.
Right.
I've done nothing except play it and say, I don't like this game. It sucks.
Well, let me. Now, you were not here for my rant that I had about reaction culture, like YouTube reaction videos and how you're basically
touched upon it before.
Okay.
Yes,
it's the same thing where people just show somebody else's video and they're just commenting on it, which is essentially what we're doing when you just review a game. If you're just reviewing a game, all you're doing, you are basically part of that algorithm.
You're a reaction podcast.
Yes, you're reacting to this game that somebody else has created. Now, you can argue that you're offering a service because your reviews and what you're putting out to people is getting people's attention. So there is some marketing aspect to that. So I can see that argument. I think the reason that we're a 3.5 and not just an average would be that we do more than just the board games. It's the banter and the other things for which we do that add
the in-depth look at Star Wars.
Yes, I think that, and plus the naturalness of our podcast where we don't script anything.
No.
Which
nothing
also,
artificial here.
Which also would ever also very much
the good and the bad.
It is the good and the bad because you can't do improv.
Our greatest strength is our greatest weakness.
Yes. Like you can't have like go to improv comic thing and hope for the best. Some nights are great and some nights are not. And I think that's this show.
Yes, and
see, Enrique's useless.
Yes,
he looks at me.
I wasn't even looking at you.
See,
exactly.
If this was a professional podcast, we could overlook such things like this, but we
dare
cannot
you?
because they're too meta and unprofessional. But that's okay. So leave us a review, 5 stars, because we are going to win that Golden Geek at some point in time.
Do not vote for us.
Yes, I want to win it.
Do not. It doesn't matter.
I'll say again, vote
it
or
does
not
matter.
As long as we are held in respect and love.
I want to win it. I want to win it so that I can go to that Dice Tower
If you remember how hardcore Ben Maddox shielded for that Golden Geek.
He didn't shield. He deserved it.
He shield I didn't say he didn't deserve.
He
100% he deserves it.
Yes.
He is putting out he's putting out a string of interviews here lately I absolutely love.
With Jude.
Mainly because they're people I care about.
Yes.
And listen to.
Yes. We
The
semi-care about
designers-
Matthew Jude.
The designers, I appreciate your work. but
Yeah,
I'm
forget
not-
those guys who
I'm not
provide us with
interested-
content.
I'm not interested in the process.
I do think,
But he goes further than that. As I said previously, Ben deserves the reward.
yes, but if we get the golden gig, then maybe we'll get invited to go to that Dice Tower retreat thing.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I want to go there.
never-
Dan's going.
Who?
Dan Hughes,
Who?
the
No.
narcissist podcast.
I was going to no,
and
listen.
I want to go.
If you would win, you would go to the retreat, you would meet Tom, and you would have to say who.
Who?
Listen, Tom
A
knows
couple
me.
of owls up in here.
Tom
I'm
knows
not gonna
me.
lie. That would be the
I
most
have
hysterical
met,
thing.
I
ever.
have met Tom.
Who?
So okay,
Who are you, Owl Green?
that's not funny.
That's
I want
okay.
to take Enrique. Just send Enrique to the Dice Tower thing.
He's like,
So,
I'm here.
just show up.
And they would be saying who?
Who? Do you not know who I am?
Golden Geek winner,
I'll parachute in.
Golden Geek nominated.
Fall from 80 feet, break your right side, and it's quickly throw some ants on him, and you'll survive.
We don't need a defibrillator. We have an ant farm, an alien ant farm.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
I thought.
That's a great song. R.I.P. Michael Jackson. He's dead too.
When did he die?
He didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
whether or not
China White.
that's a huh?
China White is what he was taking. Propanol. I was not calling him China White.
I was going
That's
to
not
say
a nickname.
what?
That's the term for the propanol that he was using, which is an ethicist.
China.
China. And it
China.
will wipe you out.
You remember the wrestler woman named China?
I do. She missed her timing.
It was
It had been great.
pretty sad.
It was pretty sad.
She was like top of the game.
What
And
happened
then,
to
like,
her?
She ended up like doing like adult movies and just kind of like fell off.
Like PG-13 move?
No.
Oh,
No, not like
Oh.
not like
I got you.
Clive Cussler books.
Gotcha.
Like, she just kind of had a fall from grace. Even though she was a top-notch wrestler, like no one had ever seen anyone like her before. I'm going off on a weird China tangent
Yeah, I'm
here.
about to say.
And I don't even really
I like that you just decided I have to defend
I have to defend this woman's honor.
wrestler that nobody remembers. Like nobody,
I remember her. Nobody. Oh, okay.
like John Cena.
Don't you mess with John
We
Cena.
gotta.
Okay. Well, this was an interesting podcast. Thank you, Michael, for your question. That if you're not pleased with that response of an in-depth look at the anti-hero terminology,
Which I didn't mean to get into, but we did.
but you always help me see things from a way that I don't think. And I had this. I made a comment the other day, and to Bubba in front of Bubba, and he like walks up to me. When you said this, did you mean da 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 da? I'm like, I meant this and this and that. And I'm being very vague because nobody cares what it was about. And I told him, I said, Bubba, I'm telling you, I don't think this deeply about stuff. I just said it. I said it. This is what I meant. Okay, well, I kind of wondered if you meant, Bubba's like, everybody's got layers like an onion. That's a Shrek term.
I know.
I was like, okay, Bubba, but you and Jared, y'all are the ones that think this deeply about stuff.
I think most people think deeply on stuff.
Okay, well,
Not
maybe
me.
I'm the one that
You know I
doesn't.
I think that might be the case.
But anyway, so we miss Bubba. Bubba, you should come back on our show sometime.
I know.
But I don't know if he ever will.
working.
I can trank him and just kind of drag him over
Maybe
here.
for the new year. Maybe for the call-in episode.
Maybe so. That'd be
Special
fantastic. We
This
need to
won't
get-
be out before then. This is too meta because we'll probably
This is our second show.
Yeah.
Crap.
yeah.
This is after New Year's.
Maybe here's the thing. If Bubba did come on, we were really
That was
glad.
awesome.
That was awesome. But if
Bubba,
he didn't come
thank
on,
you.
that was sad.
Friggin' Bubba never
Nah,
shows
he
up
probably
anymore.
he was busy. He ain't gonna show up.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, I'm Gabi.
This Jerry.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.